Hi, hello, and how are you? Today we have a full video coming on a few of my favorite herbs within Cynple Apothecary and how you can use them for so many problems that show up.
I am back! What it do, baby?
If you're doing everything right, using the best hair products, the best shampoos and conditioners, even protective styling, and you're still shedding like crazy, this video is for you because the real reason you're losing hair may have absolutely nothing to do with products and everything to do with stress, hormones, nutrition, and what's happening inside of your body. So let's break this down, what your scalp is really trying to tell you. So here is a deep dive into the real reason you're losing hair. It's not always hair products. Breaking down the causes behind hair loss outside of products is the real way that we take advantage. But while I do that, right, you guys, we're going to take a flashback into the past, and I am giving one of my regular clients some dimensional hair color, and we'll talk about her hair growth cycle as we unpack. But let's hop into number one. The number one cause is stress and hair loss, right? That is normally telogen effluvium. So, what happens when your body is under high stress, emotional or physical? It can push a large percentage of your hair into the telogen phase, which is the resting and shedding phase, all at once. This condition is called, again, telogen effluvium. Here are some of its triggers. Number one is going to be emotional trauma like grief, anxiety, or depression. Next will be physical trauma like illness, surgery, especially childbirth. Next up will be rapid weight gain or weight loss. This is really something that will affect the way that your hair is moving, or crash dieting. And then lastly is going to be poor sleep, overworking, or burnout. These are all things that definitely affect your hair growth cycle. And the majority of us really forget how our sleep cycles, our diets, and all of those things all go into our hair. So, what are some signs of number one? The first sign is going to be hair shedding, and it sheds in large amounts 2 to 3 months after whatever that stressor was, right? And then next up is going to be a thinner ponytail or noticeable hair on pillows or in the shower. And lastly, no pain or inflammation on the scalp, right? You don't have any pain or inflammation, no burning or anything like that, but your hair is falling out. That's most likely going to be telogen effluvium. So, how to rebalance the body? The first thing you want to do is prioritize your nervous system regulation with breath work, walking, sleep, and great hygiene. So, what we go deep into about shampooing the hair and making a healthier environment for the scalp really leads and aids and helps you in that. Next up is adding androgens like ashwagandha with guidance. Within the apothecary, we have peace potion, and it is amazing, and it's packed with ashwagandha and another herb that we'll talk about in a second. All right, and then next up, you need to eat regularly, avoid skipping meals. And lastly, journal, right? Journal or seek therapy for emotional processing, because if you do not get rid of those stressors, or at least learn how to work through them, they will show up in your body. Right? Number two is going to be hormonal imbalances. And so, what happens with that? When you have a hormonal imbalance, your hormones control your hair growth cycle. So, if your hormones are out of whack, your hair is going to reflect that. When they're out of sync, your hormones, When your hormones are out of sync, hair loss is a symptom, not the core problem. The main hormones related are high DHT levels. We talked about that video linked in the description box below. And this can shrink the hair follicles, especially if you're somebody who suffers from PCOS. Next up is going to be thyroid issues, which we also talked about. Link in the description box below, right? Both hyper and hypothyroidism can lead to diffuse shedding, right? Next up is going to be estrogen drops, which we've also talked about, right? In the video about red clover tops. Red clover is plant estrogen. It is amazing, right? But again, another hormonal related cause of shedding is going to be estrogen drops, commonly postpartum and premenopausal. Next up is going to be cortisol spike. Chronic stress hormones lead to weak hair and shedding. So these are things you want to be really, really, really vigilant of. So there are different ways that you can get this under control because you have to balance this. The first thing you want to do is get a hormone panel ran, right? Go to your doctor and have them run a hormone panel and focus on testosterone, thyroid, estrogen, and cortisol. It's so important. I'll say it again. Focus on testosterone, thyroid, estrogen, and cortisol. Next up, you want to support with foods, right? Different vegetables for your estrogen balance, healthy fats, and hormone production. You also want to reduce sugar and caffeine overload, right? Be really intentional. And lastly, you're going to consider seed cycling or supplements with professional guidance. So remember, do not just get out here and start taking supplements. It's one of the things that like makes my skin crawl when I see it on social media because you can't just take a supplement without first getting the blood panel and getting all of those different things checked out to see what you're deficient in, right? So this is a client that came to me for years. She also always has to wear hats and like headbands for work. So we always had an issue with the hairline. But if you go ahead and rewind, you can see how short her hair used to be when she first started coming to me. This video is about 7 years old. So the hair products you see in the background, I no longer have my own hair product line and stuff. That's not my thing. Nothing bad happened. Nobody ran me out. I just don't want to sell hair products, right? So at this point, what I have already done is her scalp has been detoxed and she got a great clarifying shampoo, deep conditioning treatment. Her hair has been blown out, ends have been trimmed, and now I am giving her a braid down for her sew-in. All right. So let's keep going. Number three is going to be nutritional deficiencies. So, what happens when you have different nutritional deficiencies? Well, your hair is a non essential tissue. Meaning your body prioritizes the organs first. So if nutrients are low, hair health is the first thing to suffer because your hair isn't important. It's really not. It definitely serves purposes, but your body is like, okay, if I'm low on fuel, the very last thing that I'm gonna give this fuel to is the hair because it is not really that big of a deal, right? So you want to make sure that certain things within your body are at its proper levels because if nutritional deficiencies within your body are low, your hair health is the first thing to suffer. So key deficiencies linked to hair loss are as follows. Number one is going to be iron. Low iron is one of the top reasons for female hair loss. Next up is vitamin D. Essential. It is essential for follicle stimulation. So if you are deficient in vitamin D, girl, your vitamins ain't gonna be stimulated. Next up is biotin and B12, which supports keratin production and energy at the follicle. Next up is zinc, which is needed for hair repair and follicle health. And next up is protein. Hair is made of keratin, a protein. And if your diet lacks protein, then the hair gets thin really fast. So, if you want to rebalance this again, what you need to do is test the levels, right? So these are things that are really important, especially your iron levels, because it needs to be above like 70 for hair regrowth. Next up is going to be eating iron rich foods. So red meat, lentils, spinach, vitamin C for absorption. All of these things are important. Next up, you want to add vitamin D3, B complex, and zinc if deficient. You also need to ensure that you eat anywhere between 20 and 30 grams of protein per meal. And we're talking about your hair health, keeping things balanced. Again, I need you to go to your doctor. If you have insurance, there is no excuse. When you go see your dermatologist, you don't just run to your dermatologist like, oh my God, I'm bald head now, help me. No, you need to go see your dermatologist, get your blood work ran and all of the things so you can figure out exactly what your body is deficient in. So then you can go and repair and replace those things, right? Because it's not always as simple as something to put on the scalp. Even though I'm always telling you not to grease and oil the scalp, there are a lot of women who don't do those things but still suffer from balding and things of that nature. This video is for you. Number 4, hidden inflammation or gut issues. A lot of the time, all of the things we're doing and we have all of these different products and nothing's working because the issue is in your stomach, girl. So what is really going on? Chronic inflammation or gut issues interfere with nutrient absorption and trigger systematic stress. Think IBS, leaky gut, or food sensitivities, right? So some different clues are hair loss with no clear reason. It makes absolutely no sense. You're not greasing your scalp, you're not wearing tight braids, you're not doing anything wrong, but you still have hair loss. Think about that. Next up is going to be fatigue, skin breakouts, bloating, and brain fog. If you don't really have a reason for this, but all of these things are popping up, you should really start paying attention. Next up is going to be scalp itchiness or flake, and not really related to hair products because you're not even using anything. You've already stopped doing all of the things. So you need to rebalance. How would you do that? Well, first, you're going to eliminate inflammatory triggers, processed foods, dairy, gluten. For some people, different things that cause inflammation in your body, you want to push those things away. You want to heal the gut with probiotics, bone broth, and anti-inflammatory herbs, right? Then you want to move on. Again, I know I keep saying it, but you want to lower your sugar and alcohol intake because these things really trigger inflammation within the body. And you want to lastly look into food sensitivity and do some testing if needed. So it's really important that you guys look into these things and write these things down. It's rarely just the hair products. You can just be the best at everything and use the most expensive products, but if your body is depleted, inflamed, or hormonally imbalanced in some way, your follicles will not respond no matter what you do and no matter what or what type of viral product you start using. It will not matter because you're just simply not giving your body what it needs. So next, we're going to go over, a small little list of herbs that help with hair loss, focusing on the root causes we just talked about: stress, hormones, inflammation, and nutrient deficiencies. Because, it would be great. The Apothecary has so many different products in it, and it would be amazing for me to just come on here and just talk you to death about them. But at the end of the day, you first need to know what you're deficient in. You need to know what you're treating within the body, and then you can go after these things, right? So I'm going to go over these things with you, but make sure you also check out my blog, because when you head over to my blog, you will be able to go over this and read it all for yourself. But number one is going to be ashwagandha. All of the herbs that I go over today are within the apothecary, all right? Ashwagandha Ashwagandha is an adaptogen that reduces cortisol and balances thyroid hormones. It's best for stress-induced shedding, telogen effluvium, like we talked about, fatigue, and anxiety. And you can use it in tea and extract form. You can find it within Simple Apothecary. This is great for regulating estrogen, testosterone, and promoting follicle health. Next up is saw palmetto. It blocks DHT, a hormone that shrinks the hair follicle. It's best for PCOS, androgenetic hair loss, and oily scalp. Again, you can take this in tea or extract form, but with this simple apothecary, we have it in extract form. Next up is spearmint. What it does, it naturally lowers excess androgens, which is amazing, and it's best for hormonal acne, PCOS related hair loss. So it's amazing. And when you have different blends that have peppermint and spearmint, the results are amazing. Again, they live within Simple Apothecary, so check them out. I also want you to know that Gutacola is another herb that we have within the apothecary. That one is within our peace potion. The peace potion is with Gutacola and ashwagandha. And what it does is it enhances blood flow to the scalp, which supports collagen. This is best for weak follicles, thinning, and poor circulation. So it's amazing when used in tea form, especially when combined with ashwagandha, like we talked about earlier. Next up, we have nettle. Nettle is amazing. It's rich in iron, silica, and other minerals that nourish the hair. It's best for iron deficiency related shedding and general hair nourishment. I love it in tea and tincture form, and we have them available in both tea and tincture form within the apothecary. Next up is going to be dandelion root. I love it. It is within our top seller, which has dandelion root and chicory root as our coffee replacer. It's amazing because it aids the liver in detox and digestion. It's great with hormonal balance, improving your nutrient absorption. And again, it's our coffee replacement. Again, this is one of our top sellers, but last and certainly not least, a Bodak root. Bodak root cleanses the blood and reduces scalp inflammation, and it balances oil production within the body. It balances the sebum production within the sebaceous gland. All right, it is best for oily scalp, acne, and internal detox. It is absolutely amazing. We have Bodak root in tincture form, and we also have Bodak root within a couple of our tea blends. So make sure you check the description box below to figure out which blends we have Bodak root in. But all of these blends are ones that you definitely need. You have to have within your home if you need to get your hormones balanced. So before you throw out your products or jump to the next trending serum, pause. Your hair is a reflection of your inner health. So if your stress is high, your hormones are out of balance, or your body's running on low nutrients, you'll see it in your strength. You'll definitely see it in your hair. So rebalancing your body isn't just about growing hair. It's about healing from the inside out. And once you do, your hair will follow. Don't just treat your scalp. treat you. If this spoke to you, drop it in the comments. Like drop me a heart in the comments or something. I don't know. Let me know whatever emoji pops up in your head and share this with a friend and let's keep healing moving forward, right? Because at the end of the day, when we are constantly chasing trends and hair products and tools, it doesn't help anything because your hair is grown within your gut, right? So why wouldn't you start hair care within the body? Because what you see on the outside is just simply a direct reflection of what's going on the inside because everything goes from the inside out. Your hair is grown within your gut. It does not happen on the scalp. So in understanding that hair growth does not happen on the scalp, you must find healthy patterns and routines. The reason that I picked a sew-in to do this voiceover over is because there are a lot of clients that I had in the past that after they went and saw their dermatologist or their, primary healthcare physician and got all of their blood panels and all of the things ran, they saw and that they had certain deficiencies and then they would come to me and we would do a treatment based on where they were at, based on what their body's needing at that moment. And sometimes the hair just needs to rest, right? So I would give that type of client a sew-in. We would have a very, very strict regimen that my clients would always agree to keeping, meaning they didn't have their sew-ins for 6 months in advance. They didn't go past 60 days. And we had a regimen. And this was to make sure that their scalp stayed healthy because there was a certain growth regimen we were on. Now, this client in particular did always want edge control. It was not an option, but she also knew a pattern and a routine to follow every single night before bed. She did not sleep with edge control on. It was not a thing. So I just want to say that. This was meant to kind of look like, a body wave type, not a body wave, but like kind of like a loose beach curl type of thing. She didn't want the curls to stay super tight. So that's why I ended up combing it out. But I really, really hope that this makes sense. I just wanted to kind of have a little podcast like that for you, but you can still have a good visual because I want you to really understand that always, always, always hair care starts from the inside out. So when we're talking about sew-ins, hair extensions, and all of the things, make sure you completely stay out of the mind frame where you're comparing different hairstyles to each other and what's better than this and what's best for the hair and oh, a woman who wears weaves doesn't love herself. No, weaves are protective hairstyles and it's a fact that every woman walking the face of the earth, every race and ethnic group wears hair extensions, but only black women are shamed by each other for wearing them. So let's make sure we leave that, in the years that passed previously, and let's move ahead because sew-ins, different forms of extensions, when they're done and maintained properly, they are amazing for your length retention goals, right? It's great. It's a great thing to do to switch things up and give your hair a break. And I would always tell my clients, always, if they wanted to do hair color, almost every single time, I would recommend for them to do hair extensions long before I would have them do it on their hair. Hell, even my own hair. In a minute, I'm going to do some color, but not on my hair. My own hair will only be black or my natural hair color, which is like a reddish brown. So, yeah. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end of this video. I absolutely love talking about the different herbs that I have for you and the many more that I have on the way. This is my moon cycle brew. I love it so much, and we are officially restocked, so make sure you check it out in the description box below. If you have a hormonal problem with estrogen levels being too low or too high, I can promise you, you do not want to live life without this blend. So I love you so much, and until our next video, bye.